Okay, greetings everyone. Hope everyone is well and the weekend has been good. For those on board, continue to walk safe so that you go home better than you came. And those at home, please be safe as well so that when it's time to go on board, you have all your hands and limbs ready to go. So today we'll be discussing about how to prepare for audit, inspections, and survey. I feel this class is very important. I have done a bit of audit inspections in the last year, a year plus. And I could discuss one or two from those things. So that's why I feel this class is very, very important. Just a quick one from anybody. How many people who can tell us the difference between audit, inspection, and survey? What's the difference? Anybody? Adeyemi, if you are struggling with internet, then you might switch off your video. Because if the internet is not good and you're using video, it makes it even worse. I think so. So just for if you need to. Okay, anybody please, who can tell us the difference between audit, inspection, and survey? This is a class, so we are not here to learn. It's not. We are here to learn. We are not. This is not an exam. So nobody. Well, somebody should try now. Just try. You don't have to get it right. That's why we are here, so that we can learn. I don't want to start calling names, so it's too early to start calling. People. Okay, I give it a try. Okay, let me try as well. Okay, so audit is more of a process whereby they are not a process. Audit is an exercise that the auditor is coming to check your process. So what you say you do, how you have been doing it. So let me give an example. A navigation audit. The navigation audit will come on board and check, all right, how did you carry out your navigation in the last voyage or last two voyages compared to your own requirements? Did you plot on your charts when you are coming in? Is your plotting in line with your position plotting interval? You understand? Does your position plotting interval make sense? Do you use parallel indexing? Did you, if they're auditing for example, your ISM audits, is a matter of, checking based on your SMS, on what it says on your SMS, what have you done? So, example will be, you said you carried out a artwork welding on your deck. All right. As per your own SMS, what is the requirement to carry out the artwork? The auditor is not basically trying to say what you said you would do or what you signed up to do, are you doing it? And show us the evidence that you have done it. Not that I will do it. No, is have you done it? So that's how audit works. And that's really like auditor. So when we talk about inspection is to see more or less the state of something. So we're coming to inspect your what's it called? Rescue boats or lifeboats, to see the state of your lifeboat as is now. We are doing an inspection on your tow wire. Okay, so probably based on how you've used it or whatever, we want to see what it looks like now. So I hope somebody's picking the difference between audits is what you have done, your process, and we are now coming to check, did you follow your process or a process you have signed on to? Inspection is what do we have right now? Is this tow wire good? Is this engine good? Is the crankcase good? Is the top engine good? Is the shaft generator, is the coil of the shaft generator in good order? You know, something like that. You are trying to ascertain at that time. You can do it, the inspection now, and tomorrow it breaks up, you know, it just packs up. There's nothing you can do about that. But at the time you checked it, the tow wire, the string, the strands, everything were as per it should be, you know. So that's inspection. Now, survey is more deeper because survey is trying to look at what will be the reliability of this particular equipment in future based on a particular standard or, you know, best practice. So we say we want to do an underwater survey. We check the vessel, to check the measurement of the hull, the blah blah blah, the rust, the this, the anode. And I say, you know, based on this, we don't think the vessel will last another 5 years if you don't replace XYZ anode. Okay, the standard by class is XYZ. What you have is this. So maybe there's already a, you know, so that is survey. You can do survey on a whole lot of things actually. You know, there are grain surveys, there's this survey, there are different types of survey, but surveys are more in-depth than just audits or inspection. Does anybody understand me? I would like to hear from the class if you can pick anything from what I've discussed so far. Anybody? Just to be sure I'm not talking to myself. NA, November Alpha,
Yeah,
can you
boss,
hear me?
my notebook don't full already. From what I gathered,
Yes, sir.
audit is the more like the process or the exercise carried out to confirm the compliance and effectiveness of a system. Like, let's say ISM audits now, either internal or external. You know, the auditor comes, so it's an exercise carried out by an auditor to check that what you said you would do or the process, the SMS that you wrote down, that this is the procedure that you use when you're carrying out SYZ activity, that you are following it. It could be for navigation, it could be for control of work, it could be for artwork, risk assessment, or any of them. So it's just for him to come and confirm that you're following the system that you have written down or proposed. While inspection is the exercise carried out to inspect or to check the condition of an equipment or maybe the system as well, to check that at that particular time it is okay. Now I see why most inspections, last no longer than 6 months and all of that, because they just do on the spot check. It's not like a future something or guaranteeing it for future use. It's basically how it is right now, if it is okay and all of that. And it could be for equipment, it could be for the working area conditions and all of that. And then survey is like certifying something for the future, doing a deeper analysis of, can this still last for another 5 years, 2 years, 3 years? In the worst case scenario, what if weather is like this, weather is like that? Can it survive? Can it last for, like, approving something to be used for many more years for the future? That's all I've got. I don't know if I've gone astray.
Not too much, you know. You are just too much. Too much. I can just leave this class and I go and continue my bricklaying work, you know, or my building apprentice job. You know, so yeah, so really thanks for buttressing that. Okay, now what I've found out in the last year plus or almost 2 years is especially when we do audit and inspection. And I would guess a lot of maybe class surveyors might also say the same, that there's a lack of preparation, most times, lack of preparation most times, which is sad. And you see it again and again and again and again. And like anything else, if you do not prepare, you would be found, wanting, you drop the ball, it's going to be expensive. By the time they are telling you, oh, now you need to do this, the inspector can put a stop work or a prohibition notice, or, a warning, or just stop your vessel completely from carrying out any activity. That's loss of revenue and a lot of things. So for me, on a preparation side, I know Captain Oliver, you accept with me because we've done this together before. Is so if you're coming for an audit, what type of audit is it? You don't have to be already antagonizing the audit or saying or trying to say, oh, they are coming to disturb us, they are coming to give us another work, and they are coming to check, they are coming to just, seafarers cannot rest again. Paperwork is too much. When you start having those kind of attitude to audit or inspection or surveys, you are in the time you are supposed to use to prepare, you'll be using it to complain, and complain will not do any help. And guess what? Some of the ship owners or ship managers might not really have much in-depth knowledge of this thing. So they see you on board as a professional. You're actually there to support them. So when you drop the ball, they feel really disappointed. They feel like, oh, we thought you were on top of this, and you feel like, no, I'm waiting for operations to be tended, I'm waiting for technicals to be tended, and blah, 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 blah. So they just don't understand it. So while I was on board, what I used to do when we're going to have any inspection or an audit on this is this. You have to be proactive again, preparation, proactive, and speak to your superintendent straight away. Or if you're a junior officer, speak to the captain and say, do we have the checklist of this, what this guy or this lady is coming to do on board? What are they going to do? What is the scope of this, of what they are going to do? You can imagine you are preparing for an audit, but the person is coming for a survey. It's like you are taking, you are using fists to go and fight in a Shakabula fight, So when it happens, you'll be really disappointed because you would not even be close enough to it. And so, what is the person? What's the scope of the operation? Do they have a checklist you can actually follow before they come in? I remembered when I started doing OVID, I was as chief officer. I think that was far back, maybe 2012, 2013. And this particular superintendent from the company, and I was with a company called RK Offshore at the time, he came to Congo from Singapore. His name is Captain Hussein. And he came to me and said, he's Singaporean, right? Chinese Singaporean. So he has this Chifa, he has this funny Shobajo, very funny way of calling my name and all that. But he just said, we have to go through this OBID inspection. And it's an anchor handling DP2 supply vessel. So really big. And that means, anchor handling vessels have, and if you're anchor handling, you are DP, you supply, oh my goodness, you'll be having over 600 questions in OBID. And the guy said, we have to go through it. I was like, wow, and yeah, he said, you are the chief mate, just let's go through it one by one. So we started going through this thing, trying to look for the answers, trying to look for the, when we finally finished, the guy said, oh, chief, we have to do it again. I was like, they said but we have to do it again. We did it like 3 times in 2 days, man. It was so painful. But because when the auditor comes, when the surveyor comes, another thing you have to understand is that the fact that you have your company rep on board, the auditors or the surveyors or, they are not there for your company. They are there, especially when it comes to audits, they are there to audit you using the equipment, how you are using it, not your ship owners, right? So they don't really care about the ship owner or ship representative that is there. All right. So they want to focus on you, that you are the crew. So if your ship owner is the one, or your representative, your HSC superintendent is the one that has all the answers in his head, and the inspector feels like, sorry, I'm not here to ask you a question. It has happened to me before. I went on board and they said I should speak to somebody on the phone. I'm like, I don't understand. Speak to madam on the phone. I was like, what is madam? Who is madam? What do you mean? They said, I asked a question, they'll say madam. I said, who is madam? Madam is all this shit. I didn't come for madam. Sorry, I don't speak to madam. I don't know how they felt about it. But I said, I'm not here for madam. I'm here for the crew, to see how the crew will use this particular equipment, or how would they operate when they come to our field. Madam will not come to our field. You understand what I'm saying? So you on board have to be very prepared. Don't just wait for, operations superintendent will come. He might be there, and the guy says, sorry guy, I don't want you to be in this meeting. I don't need answers from you. I need answers from the crew, because operations superintendent don't sail. They won't sail. And sometimes for the junior officers as well, you have to understand that somebody's mic. Somebody has their mic on. Who is that? Okay, thank you very much. So you also have to understand that sometimes, like I do, is I know that the captain is not going to be on the bridge 24 hours, right? So, or the chief engineer will not be in engine 24 hours. So if the captain has all the answers, I will say, Captain, please, thank you very much. Let me ask your second mate. Let me ask the third officer. Let me ask the chief officer these questions. So preparation, you have to be, you're part of your officers. That's why you're officers, you're part of the bridge team. So when you see this checklist, check which one is your department. So for example, you are the third officer or second officer, and you are in charge of FFA. Look at all the FFA questions in the checklist, or the guidance that the person is, or the lady is coming to audit you on or do. Go answer it like, not, some people, they like something called critical thinking. They want to give themselves an answer that will suit themselves. Not that type of answer. You have to answer it as if you are not a crew member, as if you are being objective. Just ego manager. No, not like ego manager. Is it a work now? No, no, not like that. You have to look at it as a professional. Like if you are the one coming for the audit, that answer you want to give, will you accept it as an auditor? You understand? Don't give the auditor bobo juice. I used to tell people, don't give me bobo juice. Then they will laugh. I say, why do you want to give bobo juice in the first place? Do you think I'm stupid? Do you think I came from the streets? All right. So preparation, being proactive with your preparation. Now, if there's something that is not right in you cannot 100% give an answer to, make a requisition, please. Make a requisition for that thing. Report it to your superiors, hierarchies on board. So if you are the second officer, you have to do the medicine list. Don't think, don't worry, you will not check our medicine list because you don't have time to check it yet. Don't think so, because guess what? I for some reason, every time I go for inspection, I'll just say, open this thing. That particular one that I tell them to open will be the only one that will be bad. Every other thing will be good. And they will be hoping that, okay, he will not check this one. And for some strange reason, I'll just say, open this fireman outfit. Is that one that will have a broken, face mask or something? Every other one will be good. So you cannot rely on mini, money more and be doing 50-50. I will call a friend, or lifeline. No. If something is not, be there, because when he finds out and you say, oh yes, I know it's there, or by the time he's going and he said, oh, in this particular drawer, this is the fault. I have made the requisition. I've reported it with in our defect list. You've done your part. But once the inspector sees that, oh, he found a fault here, you did not tell him before that, you are not being proactive, you did not even do as if you knew about it, guess what? He's going to keep digging and keep digging and keep digging. And I used to tell people that sometimes it's biblical. When you seek, you will find. When you knock, it will open. So someone that is seeking will always find something, and that's it. So being proactive, being prepared in your own department. And again, as I was talking about the medicine, the fact that, oh, I'm now busy, I cannot do this medicine shelf. Blah, blah, blah. Report it to your chief mate and say, Chief, I have this problem, or I have not been able to do this medicine. We have auditor. Guess what? The chief might just have time. He might have finished his own and just have time. He should tell the captain, because sometimes captain will be like, okay, what can I help with these people? Now, being a captain is a very lonely job. Until I became captain, whereas I realized that even my chief officer that we used to play together before, when he was second mate, he doesn't want to come and play with me again. So I used to go and look for trouble. I'll be going there to clean window in the bridge, arranging the bookshelf, going to the galley. I'm always going to the engine room. I used to go to the engine room every day. I don't trust those people. No, I'm just joking anyway. So, don't. So just speak out, not last minute, because if the captain feels that you are not told him anything, that you have a problem, and on the day the inspector is not telling you, oh, captain, we realize that 3 of the fire extinguishers have not been serviced. Guess what? He's going to look at you like, that's. You gave me the confidence that everything was okay. All right. So speak out. Somebody might be able to help you. The fact that you cannot do it, there might be a cadet that is not doing anything. They'll just say, hey, cadet, go and help second me. Or there are 2 ABs that are on watch. 1 AB can come and help you, so that you can quickly finish it. So don't overwhelm yourself while you are being preparing and being proactive. Speak out to hierarchies what the problems are. Have a note, have a jotter of the things you need to request. Submit it that, chief mate, this one, if you're not the one in charge of requisition, submit it to the captain and say, we need to request this for this. So for example, I come on board your vessel and I'm looking at load line. Now, load line is not just load line mark. If you're going to have a class survey or something, I will recommend you go through your load line certificate and check the condition of assignment of load line is attached to that certificate. Everything that is in that condition of assignment of load line, your chains, all those 3 stanchions, the chains, all those things, where you have your bollard or your beats or your bollard, where the mooring line goes out from, you should have chains crossing it when you're not using it on mooring line. Why? It's for crew protection. It's part of load line. Now, some chains are broken. You just feel like, no big deal now. There is big deal because the chains were not there for decoration. It's part of load line in the first place, okay? So you need to be sure, is the chain okay? Are they rusted? Are they there? Can you paint them? Can you make them? So those are the way you have to think. So think about it. Go and check your condition of assignment of load line. Check it out and make sure that everything in that condition of assignment of load line is there. For example, you have some closed flanges that you cannot close properly. Those things are part of your load line. You have your vents that are broken. You think it's just rust. No, it's part of your load line. It might be part of it. Some archways, some doorways are part of your load line. Go and check your certificate of your cargo ship safety radio certificate and check the Form R, for example. Go and check everything in your Form R. And sorry, 1 minute. And yes, on your Form R, and make sure that everything in your Form R, one of the things I used to catch people up, I'll say, where's your spare magnetic compass? They'll be looking at me like, oh, we don't need it. I say, yeah, I know you don't need it, but it's in your cargo ship safety radio. Is it part of or cargo ship safety equipment, Form E? And they will bring it out, and it's there. They'll say, oh, Nimasa gave it to us. I'm like, what is my business? Why are you telling me now? If it's there, that means you're supposed to have it. If you feel you're not supposed to have it, go and argue with NIMASA or your flag state. Okay, but as long as it's in your document, you're supposed to have it. So you check your certificate and check everything that is listed there. Do I have it accordingly? Your IMASAT, you said, well, it's 2 now. 1 is still good. In your cargo ship safety radio, from what is stated there, is it supposed to have 1 or are you supposed to have 2? If you're supposed to have 2, then you have 2. It doesn't matter if 1 is still good, 1 is not good, because there's a reason for you to have those things. So it's preparation. Looking at your certificates in the first place, and checking, is the index of your certificate, is it according to what is there? Sometimes I go on board and I'm like, okay, let's look at this certificate, and you look at it, there's no index page. Okay, how are we going to start looking at this? Are you expecting me to open this thing one by one? Some will have the index, they have everything, but it's not there. So you go to number 13, you're supposed to find maybe certificate of insurance. You open number 13, you find something else there. Already you are telling the inspector that you're not a serious vessel. So the inspector is already, making up their mind that probably there'll be more. So they'll be looking for more and they'll be seeing more, and all those things. So, I remembered when we used to do orals, I know Captain Liver might remember as well. They'll tell you as OW, okay, your agents drop you at the gangway. What will you do? you know, that's your question. The agent drops you at the gangway. What will you do? And it's the same thing I do every time I'm going on board now. As what will I do when I get to the gangway? I'm looking at the gangway. I'm trying to see how did you rig this gangway in the first place. So I go on board. The gangway is rigged. The net is already bad. I'm seeing that the life jacket that they put there is broken. Blah blah blah. And I'm like, "Are you sure you want me to come?" They say yes. And I'm like, "Okay." When I now point it to them, they're like, "Oh, we will fix it." Why do I have to see it before you now tell me you fix it? Before I go on board, I'm looking at your draft mark already. I see the draft mark is covered with my marine growth. Nobody's checking it. Why do you have to wait for the inspector to see that before you now say, "Oh, sorry, we'll go and we'll quickly close it," and we have closed it? Like, come on, guys. So if you're in port, before the inspection, come out of your ship, look around your vessel. I've seen a vessel whereby there's a hole on the ship's hull, and nothing was done until class surveyor came on board. A hole, puncture, watertight integrity of the vessel is zero. And it's like nobody saw it. From the inside the ship, you'll be seeing outside, until class surveyor came on board and said, guys, what is this? And guess what? Somebody's asking, who showed the class surveyor? You're like, are you guys okay? What do you mean, who showed the class surveyor? Do you not expect to see it? Is it blind? Now when the class surveyor has seen it, the whole repair has to be done as per class. This welder, the this, the that, the steel, everything is gone. It's gone really up. So those things are very important that we prepare. We put our heart into it. And once you make sure, okay, from the outside, I'm fine with the outside, my gangway is sorted, you give the inspector a good aura. You are telling him that, okay, this vessel is good. We know what we are doing. You get on board, you look at it. When you climb like an inspector yourself, excuse me, please, excuse me. All right, so you go on board yourself, look at it. Where's the muster station on this vessel? Okay, is it well marked? If you're on the supply vessels, are the no cargo limit well marked? How do we identify cargo? Just think like you are the inspector. Look at your ABs. Can the AB do a quick familiarization for the inspector coming on board? Or is it only the bridge people that know how to do it? What are they going to do? What security level are you in? Those things are very, very important, even before you start anything, because from there, the inspector or the auditor, they started making up their mind on the type of vessel that is being run, and, at the management as well, So yes, you're looking at it on the way up. How are they going to come? Plan it very well. Okay, when the inspector comes, let them come through the starboard door, or the port bridge door. And when you say port bridge door, now, well, you see, I go to the port bridge door, is locked. I'm now knocking the bridge. Myself and the AB are knocking. Like, guy, who told us to come here? They say somebody in the bridge. Where is the person on the bridge? He has forgotten that he told us to come to the starboard bridge there. Open it and say, sorry, like, sorry for yourself. So we have to be professionals in that. You come in, give the auditor or the person, if you're shaking, or I don't know, maybe COVID is still on your vessel, say, good morning, sir, give them a good handshake. And it's always good sometimes, send one of your officers down to the mess, to deck to welcome the inspector up. Let them come up. It doesn't mean that they can do the formalization, a quick formalization there, or let the AB do the formalization. When the AB is doing formalization for me, even when the chief officer or other officers are there and the AB is confident enough to do a formalization, a quick one, it might not go into full detail, but a quick formalization for me is telling me that this vessel is serious. You understand what I'm trying to say? It's showing, it's breeding seriousness already. And I'm like, yeah, if the AB can do this, I don't know, the officers will be doing a lot more, so something like that. So work them in when they come in on board, offer them tea if you have. If you don't have, it is what it is. Whatever you have, or water. Some will tell you, yeah, some of them will bring their water. Me, I carry my water sometimes, but sometimes I have a cup of tea or coffee in my pocket, and call the senior officer straight away to the bridge and say, okay, the inspector is here. Let's have a quick pre-inspection or pre-survey or audit meeting. So the inspector will introduce himself to you again. Do your familiarization. Don't forget, I've gone on a lot of vessels. They forgot to do familiarization for me. So when I'm writing, especially like Ovid, does the vessel contractors comply with the SMS? What did they expect me to write? I should write yes, right? When they forgot to even do formalization for me as I'm standing there with them, So do your formalization, then the inspector will explain the scope, what he wants to do. If you guys have questions, ask. And the confidence of the officers will start to show. If the captain says he wants to follow the auditor everywhere, I'm already looking at it like, I don't understand. It's the only captain that is on this vessel. But for me, when I was master on board, second officer, go, or chief officer, go with the auditor. No worry. They'll be like, Capo, you sure you know this vessel very well? Or I say it doesn't matter, man. Whatever the result is, all of us will will drink the gari after, and that's how people grow. That's how people grow. And that's how I grew, following these inspectors. I see things from their own eyes. What you are seeing is not what they are saying. You are seeing okay, Boson has just painted the floor. Everything is fine. But the auditor is telling that, is it anti-slip? What if people fall? Where is the anti-slip paint? He's seeing something else. And he's also bringing experience from other vessels or other practice he has seen. So auditors, inspectors, and surveyors are very key, are very good people for our industry. They are the ones helping us to grow, to be fair, because ship owners don't necessarily talk to each other, Everybody, they're like competitors. They don't necessarily talk to each other. Everybody is just doing their freestyling. But auditor will go and say, maybe you should do like this. Maybe this you should not do this, because it's bringing from all, it's bringing common experience, it's sharing common experience. He might not be able to tell you that this is coming from company A, but when he says it's like, you'll be like, okay, makes sense. And for me, I always tell people, I don't have to be right. As an audit inspector on your vessel or auditor, is probably my first time coming on a vessel. So don't expect that I'm an authority on your vessel. No, I am not. You are the authority on the vessel. You know the vessel more than myself. It's my first time or second time. So how can I know more than you or your vessel? So I'm there to ask a question. Is yes or no? So if it is yes, then don't just tell me yes, we do it. Show me the evidence. If you cannot show me the evidence, that's where, okay, the problem is. And if it is no, no problem, you close it later, And sometimes when I see that somebody wants to give me bobo juice, you know what I mean by bobo juice. They want to start telling me what is not. I'll just laugh. I'll tell them that no, the idea, I don't agree. And if I don't agree and you think I'm wrong, yes, let me know I am wrong with a superior argument, and say, oh, as per so last this is, or mapo this is it, and I'm saying, oh, I agree with you. If you can show me, you can prove it to me that yes, I'm wrong, and of course, we are different, and auditors are different, inspectors are different. Some might be easy, some might be a little bit, but respectfully, if you tell them that, well, I don't think what you have said is correct because from so publication that I've read. So you see, you have to be prepared. If you are not prepared, you cannot really be saying things like that in confidence. I've argued when I was master. I've argued my way out of this thing before. In short, not just when I was master. When I went for my orals, first orals, OW, I argued with the examiner. I don't recommend it for people, but I argued it and I said, no, He said something, I heard something else. He said I was going to fail because, and I said, no, I cannot fail because this is what he said. He said, no, that's not what I said. I said, sorry, I'm very good in math. So this is what I heard, and that's what I said this because the rule XYZ said this, and I'm very sure. So I quoted the rule. The guy said, okay, let's do rules of the road alone again. So without did another 20 minutes of rules of the road, the guy just wanted to fail me by all this. But luckily I passed, so it's preparation. And again, as I said, luckily, of course, I prepared, but luckily I passed because I was able to defend it. So, and it's the same thing. So don't go perplexed. Be confident in yourself. When he says, "Oh, you can," for me, I tell most of the masters my timetable, but I really appreciate the time. I say, "Oh, Captain Shobajo or Captain Tayo, okay, so for LSA, third officer will go with you. For FFA, second officer will go with you. For your deck round, chief officer will go with you. When you get to the engine room, second engineer will be there. Third engineer will be there as well. And if there's anything, please, my guys will have a radio. They will contact me as the captain. I will be able to give them support. On the engine side, the chief engineer will be able to give them support. And if there's something we need to ask our office, we will, give you that kind of support. It tells me that this is a working vessel, not the one that only captain wants to go with all other people. Then other guys are doing as if they are not collecting salary. You understand? So that's how I feel that we should face inspections, audit, and or whatever the survey is. Collect the checklist, get the checklist. Most times they will have a checklist. Most times they don't. Maybe they might not, or somebody must have done it before, or something. So it's like passage plan, appraisal. Before you start planning yourself, appraisal. Appraisal is gathering of all this information. Who has sailed to this port before? Okay. Yeah, second, you have sailed there before. When did you sail there before? 3 years ago. Are you sure you still remember? Okay, whatever you remember, fine. Do you have any friend that has gone there recently? There's nothing wrong now. There's no shame, at all. When we went to Busan or something with the guys, I haven't been to Busan before, but I've been to, that's in South Korea. I've been to uh, Pyeongtaek or something like that. I don't know, Captain Liver. I think you've also been to some ports in South Korea before, but you've not been to all. Nobody has been to all the ports. So you ask questions. That time I would ask some of my guys that are still on the gas carriers, LNG vessels. I say, hey, send me your passage plan, or let me see what it looks like. At least let me see where you guys are going. I know that they are deeper draft than myself. So of course, in Singapore, Malacca Strait, maybe will not follow the same area. But those are appraisal. You are gathering all this information. So it's the same thing you have to do when you're preparing for audits. Everything you have to appraise. Oh, has anybody done this Ovid recently? Amongst the crew, how was it? Have you heard of this inspector? Is he a very thorough guy? Or how does it work? Is he jovial? Try and know the person. But it's not that you want to assess the person and just say, oh, he's a wicked guy, or oh, that guy is a wicked guy. No. You just want to understand, okay, is he thorough? Is he try to know about the person coming as well. How does he like his things? What did he do? What did anybody do before that he did not like? All those kind of things, basic things. Call your friends and say, oh, we are doing this audit. And you just be surprised. The person say, oh, you know what, we did it like 2 days ago, man. Check, make sure that these points are up to date. And it is that simple. If it comes to survey as well, if there are some places you can reach before the day, do your own pre-survey, do your own pre-audits, do your own pre-inspection, on IR, for example, and don't try to hide things. I tell my people I go on board, I say, don't hide, because once I start seeing things that you're hiding, I won't believe anything you've told me again. Let's be honest, let's be transparent. Report it to your office and have your requisition, the information that you've reported is a machinery. You can break down now, you're not machinery. So, or don't lie. So it's working. I say, the guy said, hey, is it working? Say, yes, I test it. I'll be like, it stopped working this morning. Be like, yeah, I know, everything stops working when I come on board, So it's, when you start hearing that comment from an inspector, it's telling you that I don't trust what you're telling me, and you don't want to be in that kind of in that type of area. You know, that's a gray area you really like to avoid, or else it doesn't look good. So I mean, we've covered most of the part that I would like us to cover, and I want us to go with the fact that we have to prepare. Preparation, nothing beats preparation. Okay, and that's why we are on board to prepare. Be like Boy Scout, or I don't know if it's Girl Scout, it's the same thing, but Boy Scouts, be prepared. Okay, so with that, we'll have a smooth. I don't mean it's going to be easy, but you know, even the shop people will have confidence. There's a time whereby if any of the vessels the company I was then, if they want to do OVID, they will just send me, and I used to hate it. I'll be like, oh my goodness, you know, I didn't know that they want to do OVID. By the time I go on board, I just realize that they are, and I say, oh, that's why they send me on this vessel. I see, you know. But guess what? Today I'm the one doing OVID on vessel. So, so it was just preparation, you know. It has prepared me for that rigor of it. So, you know, be on this. You are on board now. You are the side receiving these inspections. Witness it. Have a chat with the inspector as well and say, hey, guy, how did you get into this thing? Why are you doing it? You know, and all that. So enjoy the process. Have a cup of tea, you know, while you are doing this thing. Don't be too stressed. Look at your galley, for example. Go to your galley, check it very well, and you test everything you can test before. You know, I've gone on board and something's not working, and the guy said, Captain, I tested this thing this morning and it was working. This is the evidence that it was working. Right now, it's not working, but there's nothing he could have done. You know, with that, there's, of course, but if he has not tested it, I would know he has not tested it, you know, and all that. So the ship is a big part. It's not as if you can you can be 100% accurate in everything, but you just have to do your best so that whatever happens, you say, well, I did my best. You know, as at the far back, Captain Oliver, did you do any Ovid together? I don't know if you remember how much we used to get. Far back that time, I think we used to do below 15, below 20 on OVID as at then, because we were very prepared, very prepared. Before you knew all the safe working load, we've already put it there, blah, blah, blah. It's not just to put bobo juice. So somebody, I went on board and they're telling me that the safe working load of their bollard is 70 tons. I said, okay, where did you get this information from? They said, okay, they'll go and find it. By the time I turned back and came back in that place again, I said 7.0. They put points in everything. They just quickly put paint, black paint, and use it to do point. I was like, did I see 7.0 before or 70? I was just thinking. But funny enough, I took a picture when I saw it. So I showed them. I said, guys, how did 70 go to 7.0? Okay, show me the 7.0. Where did you know it's 7.0? You know, and all that. So it is fun, but you just have to be prepared. So that will be all from me today. I don't know if anybody has found this useful. I hope you have. And we should remember that the reason we are on board as professionals is because we are the professionals. So we have to behave like one. Thank you very much, guys. Any questions, any comments, please? Oh, thanks, November Alpha. Thanks for your comments. Thanks for your comments on the Dropbox. Captain Oliver, are you still there? You have any word for us as well?
Yeah, boss. Good evening, everyone. Once again, yeah, I remember when we were in Aruki. I can't remember if it was for COVID, but there was this time we had to. You were the chief officer. I think Captain Jacob was there with us, and you had to take us through a very rigorous exercise of changing. I think the bollards and the fairleads and all of that were carrying kilonewton units, and then we needed to change it to tons. I don't know if you remember, and we had to go through solars and all of that. I think it was that period I even had to learn or have that the training of how the height that embarkation ladder needs to be stored. You know, putting into consideration list to one side. If it is listed even up to the maximum, I think 45 degrees on one side, you should still be able to
Touch
launch
water.
it on that other side.
Yeah.
Yeah, to touch water. Yeah, you taught me that during that period. So
Yeah.
yeah, COVID can be stressful and make you learn that much, you know. So they say sometimes there's this popular saying that COVID or inspections make you know your ships better. Some things that you probably don't know about your ship because the guy is coming to check and all of that. You probably wouldn't even know the law that is in currently in vogue or something. It's the auditor or the inspector that will bring it and be like, this is the current thing, this is how it's done now, this is what I'm inspecting, or this is what I want to see. So you probably be like, are you serious? Like we just finished external audit, ISM external audit not long ago, and the auditor was telling me cybersecurity is a requirement now, and how we need to cordon or block off where all the laptop CPUs and all of that, so any and anybody cannot just insert USB and all that. And now I have to do cybersecurity drill with the crew and all of that. And though yes, it's in the SMS, but we really don't do it and all that. So now it's an observation that we've not done any drills and all of that. So I have to I have to do that, and so it's a way of learning as well. And preparation is really key. We had about 2 days or so to prepare. So the second officer did their part, chief officer did their part, and all of that. And like you said, when he came, I didn't have to go around with him. Yeah, I was just on the bridge, cross my leg and taking my tea. Chief officer had to take him down with second officer while he was checking the life saving and the firefighting equipment and all that. Well, thank you, sir. That's my little contribution. So let's always prepare. Let's not see these people as enemies. Tomorrow it might be us doing it. It has a purpose why it's being done. So when they come, assist them as much as possible, cooperate with them, and prepare before they come so that they don't take you by surprise.
Thank you very much, boss. Thank you. So when the second officers are being reluctant, I see that maybe they are trying to hide or go and tell me that they want to quickly go to bank. All those excuses. I tell them to craze is easy. Now the trekking, I ain't be work. I want to be an officer. I want to be an officer. Now you're an officer. Oh yeah, do the job now. You want to go to bank? Which bank? So guys, it's a pleasure. Thank you very much once again. Those guys are coming with a fresh pair of eyes. When they come on board your vessel, they don't see it like you see it every day. Sometimes you see hazard every day, and because you are used to it, you just feel like, well, it's okay. But when they come in, they come as a fresh pair of eyes. So
good evening, sir.
Good evening.
So actually, regarding this hiding of deficiencies, you find out that many times, if an officer tells the surveyor the true picture of the situation, you find out that the captain will be angry with him.
Yes, I am not ignorant of that. I don't know. Let me allow you finish anyway. Let me allow you finish your.
Yes, actually, I finished because I'm a victim of that. We did a SIRE inspection one time. The inspector did not find any defect, even though the vessel has. I knew that yes, there is a lot of defect. So he did not find any defect. We did a lot of inspections actually. So later on, we now did, after all the external inspections, we now did internal audit. So on that internal audit, the master now asked me to do the audit before the DPA come on board. So which I did. So I don't know when the DPL come, he asked me because he doesn't want to go around everything because he was in a kind of a hurry. So he asked me, okay, second, what are the challenges you have on your bridge so that at least we should know how to go about it. So actually, I gave him the this thing that I did. You understand? I gave him everything through picture of everything. I give it to the DPA. So he was like, okay. He read them. He said, okay, that is good. And he now said like, what about publications? Do you have any this in publications? Because he want to write something also. I told him yes. Actually, my IMDG code I request and the company did not supply up till now. That is the new version. You know, said okay, yes, that is a good point. That's a good point. So after that, when this man disembark, okay, not be small thing. No. Captain called that why did I do like this? Blah 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 blah. That I told him everything. That this is an old ship. Do I expect this ship to be like new?
No,
You understand? And me,
yeah,
I told him I felt this is an internal inspection.
yeah,
The
yeah.
office need to know what is really happening in the ship. He said no. Now he has to close out all this things that the office is
No.
having audit. So I asked him, okay, so now you want me like to close out without really doing them? That is what you want? What you want? He said yes. So actually I have to go back. Those things I have to on the light, show as if it's working, just for him to close out again.
Okay, okay. So let me put this way. I'm not ignorant of that because I
Yes, sir.
know some captains or some ship owners or this will tell you do this, do this, do this. See, you have to make sure that your shoulders high every time. Because I have seen where, let me put it this way. I've tried to retire from this industry, I don't know, maybe like 5 years ago. I said I don't want to go to sea anymore. I just want to be going like maybe in every 5 years, I'll go just the minimum required to renew my sea time. And
Yes, sir.
sometimes I would just be at home. Like I remembered when I was just taking my daughter to school, I received a phone call from somebody who we've worked together in 2009. The guy just said, there's this job, I want you to go and do it. I'm like, Baba, I dey chill, I beg, I dey carry my daughter go out. He said, let me give them your number, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
So even this person that is telling you this, inside them, they know that you've done the right thing.
Yes.
So you have to do things for prosperity's sake. So, because when you do it, they will smile with you and say, okay, yeah, he's a good boy. But inside there, they think, this guy doesn't have that much integrity. So you have to do things for prosperity's sake, and you have to do things with common sense as well. Understand where you are, and all that. If the inspector doesn't find, that's his own problem. But I'm surprised that in internal audits like this, the captain went this way because the internal is the internal. So, but still, don't allow that to hold you back for future, because I know that for posterity's sake, it happens that, that somebody will say, if you want to get this job done properly, call this person. And those are the times we really work for. I did a vessel that that led me into trouble anyway, from Ireland to Lagos. I was just at home as well, and I received a call from one old friend, Steven Uja, and he said, oh, there's this guy that wants to bring a new vessel. They want to bring it to Lagos. They have crew that has been there for like maybe 2 months or something, and they've done class, they've not been able to go through. And I just said, okay, no problem. I arranged my rates and everything, and I went there, and I looked at what they've been doing. They've been doing rubbish. So I sat down for the first 2 days, prepared a corrective action plan, sent to the owner, like, okay, these are the defects, this is this, and this is what I think we should do. And I sent just a 3-4 page corrective action plan, like we normally do in my own company before, the company I worked with. And the guy looked at it and called me straight away and said, wow, this is really good. This is basic to me. It's basic. But the guy said, wow, now I can see what, okay, this is what they're saying. Because before we call it Captain Alpha now, Captain, we are trying, we are with the close arm. So, and I've given you 2 instances in my life where I feel, oh, these are really pressured moments in my career, you know, like what I do, I mean, now as well, it was just out of somebody just buzzed me and say, hey, do you want to do things like this? So don't allow those one or two, you know, people that would discourage you from doing the right thing, because even them, when they need to do things correctly, they will remember you, that you will do it right.
Actually, you see, that particular captain, sir, till he sign off on that ship, like he keep on repeating that thing. In fact, up till now, me and him are not in good terms just because of that action that I did.
Don't worry
And
about it.
when he was signing off, his reliever, he was telling his reliever, because he was handing over the internal audit report, and he was like telling him, you see the breach, we have a lot of deficiency. It's because of the second mate. The second mate just open up everything to him. He was telling the new master, but unknowing to him that the new master, he liked me like just his son. Actually, he just liked me too much. So the new master doesn't know that I was the one that the
He's
captain
talking
was
about.
telling him. Yes. So when I came out from my cabin, and me, I knew that it is that master that is coming, but I never chat him up to even tell him that I'm on that ship, because me, actually, I don't like him like that. So
All right. Without any further comments or experience, so I will say thank you guys for coming today. It's been a pleasure, and see you in the group, and see you next week. And
thank you very much, sir. Thank you.
the kids says they said I should tell you hello. Bye.
Hello to them for us. Bye. Regards to them.
Maria,
Thank
hello to
you.
you as well. Bye.
All right. Thank you. Thank you.
Right.